All right, let's just jump right in. Have you ever really thought about what separates a pretty good salesperson from a truly great one? I mean, the kind of person who just seems to close every deal? It's not just about luck or some fancy technique. No, there's this hidden psychological framework that the absolute best closers are using, a secret that lets them connect and persuade on a whole other level. And today, well, we're going to unlock it.
No, seriously, just think about that for a second. What if you could close any deal? What if you had the keys, the psychological cheat codes to get pretty much anyone to say yes? That's exactly what we're digging into today. The mindset that can take you from just an average seller to an absolute master of persuasion. So here's the absolute core of it, the main difference. A rookie seller, they're laser focused on the thing, the car, the software, the bottle of shampoo. But a top seller, they're focused on the psychology. They get that they're not just selling an item. Nope, they're selling a feeling, a solution, a transformation. And that right there, that changes the entire game. All right, so let's kick things off with the first and honestly, the biggest myth that holds so many people back. And it's this idea that your job is just to sell a physical item or a service. But the reality, the real secret is this. Every sale is about selling a dream. It's so simple, but so powerful. Top sellers know that every single time, no matter how big or small the deal, they're selling a dream. What they do is they paint this incredibly vivid picture in the customer's mind of what their life is going to look like after they buy. I mean, just think about it like this. You're not really selling shampoo, are you? You're selling the dream of having beautiful, shiny hair that just fills you with confidence. You're not selling a tutoring service. You're selling the dream of that kid becoming a doctor one day. And you're not selling a house, you're selling the dream of a happy family making memories inside those walls. The product, it's just the car that gets you to the dream. Okay, let's move on to myth number 2. And this is a trap that, wow, so many people fall into this. It's the belief that what really closes a deal is just listing off all the specs and features. But here's the absolute truth. People don't buy features, they buy outcomes. And if you really break it down, every single buying decision anyone has ever made, it all boils down to just 2 things. Number 1, escaping a pain, and number 2, gaining a pleasure. That's it. That's the entire list. And to see this in action, let's look at a really classic example that proves this point perfectly. It's the kind of surprising story of how mouthwash became something we all have in our bathrooms. So get this. Originally, mouthwash was this super niche product, like only dentists were really using it. So to take it mainstream, what did the marketers do? They didn't talk about its antiseptic properties. Nobody cares about that. Instead, they tapped into a really deep human pain, the fear of being single, the fear of being lonely, all because of bad breath. So they sold mouthwash not as a dental product, but as a bridge, a way to get from the pain of rejection to the pleasure of romance and confidence. I mean, come on, it was absolutely genius. And all of this leads us perfectly into our third big myth. We're taught from a young age to be logical, right? To present data, to build this rational, airtight case for why someone should buy something. But the hard, cold truth of human psychology is that reason almost always loses to emotion. Always. We are emotional beings. We make our decisions based on how we feel, and then, and this is the key part, we use logic to justify those emotional decisions later. It's backwards from what you think. I mean, just look at this comparison. On one side, you have the rookies. They're playing with the tools of reason, graphs, spreadsheets, data points. But the top sellers, they live and breathe in the emotion column. They're using stories. They're creating feelings. They're connecting everything back to those dreams we were just talking about. Why? Because they know that's where the real decision happens. So, okay, how do you actually trigger that emotion? Well, you become a storyteller. I mean, for literally thousands of years, stories are how humans have learned, how we've been persuaded. A good story it bypasses that logical, analytical part of the brain and speaks directly to the heart. So when a customer says, that's too expensive, a storyteller doesn't pull out a spreadsheet to argue. No, they tell a story about another customer who felt the exact same way, and then they explain how it completely transformed their life. And that leads us right to the final myth, and maybe the most common one of all. It's the objection we hear all the time. Money. The idea that the customer's budget is the biggest hurdle, the main reason you can't close the deal. Okay, but just think about this for a second. A brand new iPhone can easily cost over $1,000. For a lot of people, that's more than a week's pay. Sometimes it's more than a month's pay. So why on earth do people do it? Why do they line up around the block and somehow find the money for something that logically seems way too expensive? The answer isn't in their spreadsheet. It's one word: desire.
And this is it. This is the final secret. A top seller knows their job is not to worry about the customer's budget. Their one and only job is to build desire for that outcome, for that dream, so intensely that the budget almost becomes irrelevant. Because here's the thing, when someone truly wants something, they will find the money. They solve that problem all by themselves.
So let's put all these pieces together. What does this new mindset, this master closer mindset, actually look like when you boil it all down? Here it is. This is the code. Number 1, sell the dream, not the product. Number 2, sell the outcome, that escape from pain or gain of pleasure, not the features. Number 3, sell with emotion and stories, not with logic and data. And finally, number 4, build desire so high that the budget becomes their problem to solve, not yours. And this whole framework, it's not just for sales, right? This is about persuasion, about leadership, about connecting with people in every single part of your life. So I guess the only real question left is, now that you know the secret, what's the first dream you're going to sell?